What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the THP Strength podcast. We're back with a pretty cool episode today. Today we have Bartek and Mariusz, and what makes them really special is that they are a father and son who both competed in dunk contests and were able to dunk at a high level. Bartek's little brother is actually also a dunker, so we got a whole family of dunkers here. We thought it'd be pretty cool for you guys to kind of hear from them, hear their story, and we can dig into that a little bit. But yeah, guys, if you want to just introduce yourself, give us a little bit of background. I guess first I'd be interested in, Mariusz, if you want to introduce yourself, and then from there we can have Bartek introduce himself.
Yeah, okay, maybe. Hi, guys. I think it's better, best one if Bartek can translate everything because I'm not sure about my English. At school,
Okay.
I learned Russian.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you understand me, yeah?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
All right, but I think talk about the beginning.
My beginning, guys?
Yeah.
Ja. I started, okej, będę mówił, że grałem w koszykówkę, zaczynałem w koszykówkę grać i patrzyłem jak Michael Jordan wysoko skakał.
He said like he started off playing basketball and he got in a team and he played basketball and he used to watch the NBA and when he saw Michael Jordan dunk, he just wanted to do the same. Yeah, so that's how it started.
Gotcha. And how old were you when you hit your first dunk?
17 lat chyba miałem.
17 years, he said.
17 years old. Cool. And was there anybody in your family that was dunking? Like, did you have parents that could dunk or siblings or anything like that? Or
tak?
Czy ktoś w twojej rodzinie?
Nie.
No, nobody. I mean, our granddad was a bit athletic himself. He used to like run or sprint, but that's it. Nobody else. So my dad was the first one to actually start the basketball and dunking journey.
Gotcha. And I see because this is just some background. I know all about the Iron Mario video days, like
really.
So I started getting into pro dunking.
You should pull up those clips. You should pull up the clips.
Yeah. I'll pull up the clips. But I started getting into dunking when I was 16. So this was back in 2014, I believe. And we're showing them a video of him dunking. But in 2014, I was obsessed with dunking. Like I was looking everybody up, like in the deep dark depths of YouTube. And I would watch your videos when I was younger. So when did you start being able to dunk at this level? And when did you get kind of into doing like dunk contests and that sort of thing?
Dobra, to mogę wytłumaczyć. Okej. Powiedz, że ja wróciłem do tego, tak? Powiedz. O co chodzi?
Kiedy zacząłeś wstawać?
Powiedz, że na początku nie było żadnej wiedzy na temat zadania, żadnych książek i tak dalej, nie? Człowiek musiał siedzieć, myśleć i co robić, żeby wyżej skakać.
Yeah, so basically I think I can begin with because I was born and my dad was born in Poland, but we moved to Norway after a while. So my dad started off with basketball in Poland, but then we moved to Norway and we went from like 500,000 people in a city to literally a village with maybe a little bit over 100 people. Yeah, so there's like no basketball here, bro. No basketball here. So that's why eventually I also like started dunking because dunking is you don't need anybody else to do it.
So my dad. So Bartek, you didn't start dunking because of your dad. You just started dunking because you lived in a village of 100 people.
No. I mean, my dad was the biggest factor. I started because of him, but I always wanted to play basketball as well. But there was literally nobody to play with here.
Powiedz, że ja wróciłem do skakania, nie skakałem 15 lat, nie? I w wieku 30 lat wróciłem do skakania, żeby wam pokazać, nie? Zamotywować was.
Bo jak w Polsce byłeś?
Nie, jak tu przyjechali, nie?
Yeah, so my dad said like when he began to dunk, there was nothing about it on the internet and nothing in Poland. So like he had to try to do it himself. He went, like, there was nothing about it. He went in like the worst trainers on the worst asphalt and just tried and jumped and dunked and
Słuchaj,
dunked.
bo tak, że ja siedziałem i myślałem, co trzeba zrobić, żeby skakać. I zobaczyłem, że jest taki ruch i mówię, że może będę szagę podnosił, może to pomoże.
Yeah, he said himself that there was one time he like analyzed the jump technique from like NBA and Michael Jordan, and he said like, damn, this movement looks it really reminds me of like training in the gym. So maybe I will do the same movement with like a bar. So that's how we started training.
That's crazy. And what year? Like around what year is this?
Który rok?
To był kurde. 2002?
Maybe 2002, he said.
Wow.
Nie,
Wow.
92.
92? Ah, he said wrong. In 1992.
1992.
Yeah.
So this is before even like Slam Nation and Kadur's Yanni. Like this is before that time.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And when was the first time you saw other dunkers? Like, and was this the only thing you were doing? Like you weren't playing basketball, or were you also playing basketball?
Rozumiesz?
No, jak?
Czy wtedy też grałeś w kosza? Czy tylko
Tak, grałem w lidze, nie? W lidze.
Yeah, he played in like an amateur league, but widziałeś kogoś innego, znaleźć innych dunkerów?
Nie było internetu, nic, nie było wiadomo.
Yeah, that's right, because when he started, there was no internet. So he didn't know about anyone. Yeah, he didn't know about any dunkers in the world. He only saw like Michael Jordan on the TV, but...
Ja wtedy było tak, że jak ja po Szczecinie jeździłem, jak tylko wsad zrobiłem, to później już wszyscy o tym mówili, że ktoś zrobił wsad.
Yeah, he said like when he played in games, if he did like one normal one-hander dunk in like a game or like after a game, the whole city was talking about it. He said it was such a big thing. Like someone white from like the city could actually dunk. It's crazy.
Man, that is freaking awesome. And when was the first time he heard about like pro dunking and dunk contests? Like how did he get into that scene?
Kiedy o pro dunkingu i o innych dunkerów zacząłeś wiedzieć i jak, że to jest jakby taki sport, że możesz to uprawiać? Że mogłeś
po 20 latach, po 15 latach.
Od 2007?
Tak, później miałem 15 lat przerwy, powiedz, i później dopiero był internet i zobaczyłem.
Yeah, because he said like when first he like played basketball and like started dunking, I was like 20 something, but then he had like almost a 10-year break.
15.
Yeah, 15-year break, and that's after the break. That's when he started to hearing about like pro dunkers and dunking on the internet, and that's when he moved to Norway as well, and that's when he like got us. And
Gotcha. Okay,
so in like
cool.
2007, I think.
So wtedy jak na początku, jak ja wsadzałem, powiedz, że nawet nie było wiadomo, jak windmill zrobić, bo to nigdzie nie można było zobaczyć. Dlatego do Make zrobił wtedy windmilla, powiedzmy, a tak na żywo nigdzie nie można było zobaczyć tego.
He said like when he started off, he saw Dominic Wilkins doing a windmill, but he said that nobody knew how to do a windmill because he had never seen anyone do a windmill, and nobody could do a windmill. He only saw it on like the TV. And then he couldn't look up the videos to analyze or anything or ask anybody else. He just had to like just go out and try himself.
To było tak, że nie było w telewizji i mój kuzyn był marynarzem, był bogaty i miał tylko dostęp do starych taśm jakichś, nie? I w stare kopie oglądaliśmy gdzieś tam, wiesz, tych wsadów.
Yeah, he said it wasn't even on the TV. It was his cousin used to work on ships, and he traveled a lot, and he brought tapes from the NBA. So so he said it was crazy bad quality, and they looked at it like tape.
Man, that is crazy.
So I literally don't have words.
That's such a different experience from like how people get into dunking now. Like that's so cool. So now I want to hear first, I guess Bartek, like your journey, how it was that like you got into dunking, and I guess like the influence that your dad had on you, and then from there I want to get into some training stuff. See, because I know your dad has, like, I was going through his YouTube and he has some like videos of him lifting and stuff, and he's pretty strong. But yeah, if you want to give your side of the story now.
So it began with my dad started like taking dunking a bit more serious here in Norway, and he obviously looked at it on the internet, and I think he saw like people dunking over people and using people as props and everything. So he used to bring me and my brother with him dunking like every session every week. We used to go dunking, and we used to train a little bit as well, but we used to film him and he used to jump over us. So we grew up basically with like every single time he dunked, we went. I was the one filming. My brother was the one getting dunked over and helping him. So that's how we started it.
So that was probably like normal for you. Like you grew up with jumping over people is the most normal thing in the world.
It definitely helped
że ja wiedziałem, że możecie być dobrzy, ale nie chciałem wam presji robić. Chciałem, żeby to był wasz wybór, nie? Nie chciałem naciskać, nie?
Yeah, and my dad is saying himself that it was very important for him that he knew that we have good genes and we could be big and be good in this, but he didn't want to press us too much with starting. So he just brought us there and we just experienced it basically.
Yeah.
And also when he went when he went to like a dunk contest, he used to always bring us as well. So man, bro, I grew up watching Lipek and my dad like going all over Poland. Like Lipek stayed with us when he was like 18 or 19, man. That was crazy.
So you were like in person watching prime
Yeah.
Lipek.
Yeah.
I'm envious. You know he's all time probably my favorite dunker ever.
Yeah, I heard you saying that one time, yeah, bro. He's one of my favorite dunkers as well, bro, and from Poland. And I watched it live when he like began to be good. It was crazy, man.
Yeah. To był początek też Lipka, nie?
Yeah, it was beginning. Lipek's beginning. My dad is saying.
Yeah,
but that's how it started basically. Just us watching our dad experience it all, and then I remember my dad bought a mini hoop that we had in front of our house, and we used to dunk hours every day, trying new dunks and impress our dad, trying the dunks he did. We were watching his YouTube as well, the dunks on his YouTube. It was amazing. So that's how it started, I guess.
So
and question. Oh yeah, go ahead, John.
I was gonna say, so the key is, if you want, like, I've always wondered about Isaiah's daughter now, like Mariella. He has like a what is she like? I don't even know.
3.5 months.
3.5 months old, right? And now we're that generation where, you know, all these people like Isaiah and I's age that grew up on watching YouTube videos, 13, 14, 15, etc. And we're always like, man, I can't imagine what our kids are going to be like, because we had never heard of anyone who was a dunker who had kids that were also dunking. You guys are the first. And we were like, this is the craziest realization that you're the second generation dunker, not a basketball player, but someone that wants to dunk either professionally or has competed professionally. And I guess I was wondering, for long-term athletic development, like your dad was saying, he didn't push you to do it. He just put you in environments, you know, it's like, oh, I'll just leave this basketball in your room in this hoop that's conveniently high enough that you can dunk on it. And I'll bring you to these contests where it's conveniently, you know, in my whatever home country or whatever, that you can watch him compete at a high level. So it was like an extension of what your dad was doing, allowed you guys to be able to be exposed to it to a super high degree, and then led you to want to try it yourself, basically. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's how it was.
Smart.
And the question for Mario, how was it? How has it been seeing your kids like grow up to be like amazing dunkers? And I guess actually for the viewers, for those of you guys that don't know, Bartek is a crazy dunker. I'll pull up some videos on here, but
Jamie, pull up that screen.
Yeah, he's been on like the FIBA 3x3 circuit, like jumping off 1 foot and 2 foot, by the way, in the same contest. Which when I first found out about you a few months ago, and I was so shocked when I saw like I think you were going 2 foot first, and then I just see you do like a 1 foot windmill over stuff, and I was like, or I think it was like a cradle, like the double like that.
Yeah.
And then I was like, hold up. In the same contest, he just pulled both plants out. That's
Wait,
pretty
Isaiah,
sick.
did you not know? So when I mentioned Pat Dickert and Bartek, you had never heard of him until that point?
No, I had heard of him before that. I heard of him, I think in the summertime, like last summer was when I first heard of him. Yeah.
Okay. And then did you know of his dad way before? So you knew of his dad.
So yeah. So I knew about his.
You didn't even know that Bartek existed.
Yes, yes. So I knew Mario from 2014 watching videos, and then this last summer I discovered Bartek. I did not know that they were related. I didn't like. Yeah. I just like separately saw them. Yeah.
So when did you find out they were related?
I think when I texted you about it. Yeah.
Like 2 weeks ago?
Yeah. Yeah, that's when I found out they were related. Yeah, it was crazy.
What a coincidence.
But yeah, how has it been, Mario? How has it been seeing your son like compete in FIBA and like do all these dunk contests and stuff like that? Like, do you get nervous watching him? Or are you like excited? Like what's going on through your head?
Okej. Powiedz, że ja najpierw, jak patrzyłem, obserwowałem was, to Kuba był zawsze silniejszy dużo. A ty byłeś delikatniejszy. To wiesz, to myślałem, że Kuba będzie bardziej, duże sukcesy, a nie wiedziałem co z tobą, bo byłeś bardziej delikatny.
Yeah, he wanted me to say that my brother was always like the more athletic one and build better and stronger. So he thought that my brother would actually be like much better than me, and I was always like, I guess I didn't like training at all in my younger years. I remember my dad tried to take me sometimes on the training room. I didn't want to go at all, and then I think that's because he didn't push me. I started myself, but he didn't answer the question.
Okej, tak. No wiesz, zawsze się denerwowałem, patrzyłem, kibicowałem i to była taka ale pozytywna takie denerwowanie.
Yeah, he said that he was, of course, he's nervous when we are on dunk contest and on FIBA and everything. He always is nervous for us, but Dobra?
Tak.
Yeah, it's like a good sense of nervous. Like he's happy for us and he cheers for us. And often I also take him to the dunk contest. Like we were in Prague. I took him to the dunk contest to jump over him, to dunk over him.
So cool.
I thought, yeah, cool. So he helps us a lot, absolutely, and he travels a lot with us.
Yeah.
So
I have a question.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, did you ever get to and this is for Mariusz, did you ever get to a point, Isaiah and I have talked about this, like there's a day, and I don't know if you can still dunk, but there's a day where you're like Isaiah and I's dunk career will technically be over, and like being accepting of that, or like emotionally kind of like gripping with that realization. Did you ever have that moment where you were like, okay, like I'm done, I'm fine, you know, handing the torch to my sons, or what? Did you ever have that moment, I guess?
Czy miałeś sytuację w życiu, gdzie pomyślałeś, że dobra, już swoje zrobiłem i już kończę z dunkingiem i moje dzieci będą to robić jakby tak, że już skończyłeś być okej?
To nie jest tak prosto skończyć.
Yeah, he's saying himself that it's not that easy to just end it.
Cały czas by się chciało tak, nie, to robić, ale przyszedł taki moment, że tak, powiedziałem, że starczy i teraz niech ci robią.
Yeah, he said that it's not easy to end, and there was actually many years that one dunk contest in Poland, the biggest dunk contest in Poland, and my dad said, yeah, this is the last year I'm doing the dunk contest, and then he came next year, and then he came next year again, and nobody knew when it was about to end, but he said that there was a point that he was like, yeah, I think it's time to end, and like as you said, pass the torch to us.
How long? How old were you the last time you could dunk on? Like, can you still dunk on 10 feet?
Tak, ostatni konkurs mieliśmy razem 3 lata temu, tak? Ja z tobą wygrałem. Na jednym konkursie wystartowaliśmy.
Yeah, he's saying, yeah, that's true. 3 years ago, me and my dad were in a dunk contest together in Poland, and my dad won. Yeah, my dad won. Yeah, I came second. I came second, I remember. Yeah, he made
How old was your dad at the time?
45.
45. It was 45, yeah.
There's hope. Isaiah, we can dunk it till we're 45.
Yeah. Easy.
That
You have a lot
is
of time.
crazy.
You have a lot of time.
Wow. That is actually so crazy to hear.
Like 2 weeks ago, my dad actually made a dunk on like 9-10.
Just a one-hander?
Yeah, I threw the ball up for him, and then he made it one-hander. We didn't film it as well, but he can still like get up pretty easily, I must say. But I don't know if he could dunk on 10 feet. I think he had to be a trainer or train some.
Do you think? Yeah, do you have any desire to start training again? Do you think you could get back to like doing a windmill on 10 feet? You think if you train for it for a year or two?
Of course, I try. I have to try.
Yeah, but my dad had a knee surgery not that long ago, so that's what's stopping him right now. But he's saying himself that he will have a comeback and he will start in a dunk contest.
Man, that is awesome. John, that just shows the dunker spirit never dies.
It never dies, man. Dunker die, baby.
Like I feel like this generation of dunkers, like there's gonna be like a senior dunking league where like we're gonna be like 60, 70 years old. We'll have the hoop on 8 feet and do dunk contests on there.
The only way I'm ever gonna beat Isaiah is if I outlast him. Like that's how I beat everyone. I just outlast them until they quit. You know what I mean? And then, like, if I just like maintain a windmill until I'm 60, on 9
that would be so funny. And we're like super old, and then you finally beat me.
Yeah.
Man, that's crazy.
Okay, Isaiah, you had a question. I interrupted because I wanted to know. I don't know what it was. I don't know if you
I don't remember the question. But I guess now I want to get a little bit into the training aspect of it. What is it that you guys do for training? Like, do you lift a ton of weights? Do you not lift that much? Like exercises you like that sort of thing. You can kind of get into that in a little bit, and we can ask you questions as we go along.
Yeah, when I started, I only dunked low rim dunking and tried some dunks on like higher hoops and only dunking. I didn't do any like lifting in the
Kupiłem to koszta, teraz się postawił, nie?
Yeah, he said he bought a mini hoop for us to dunk. But yeah, after a while, I remember there was a year that I wasn't good at all, man. I had tried some dunk contests on like 10 feet and I wasn't good at all. And there was 1 year that I realized like, fuck it. I'm not going to try to go for dunk contests. I'm doing dunking for myself and for the fun of it. Because I remembered like, yeah, it's nice to go on dunk contests and dunk in front of people. But the most fun I have had ever with dunking was going on a dunk session with my dad and just trying new dunks and getting hyped, both of us. So there was one year where I was like, I'm going to train for myself because I like it. And I did amazing progress in a year. I started lifting and I got my strength up. And out of nowhere, my 2 feet and 1 feet jump went crazy up.
Yeah.
And I think my career started. I was 19. Yeah.
Gotcha. And how old are you now?
I'm 21.
21. Gotcha.
So what are your best number? Actually, for both of you guys collectively, what are your best weight room numbers in power clean, back squat, deadlift?
Yeah. Yeah, I think my dad can.
This is the best one. Your mind.
Your IQ?
I think it is the best of my mind.
Zrozumiałeś?
Tak, I understand, but power clean, yes, this is the best one.
Nie, ale ile miałeś power clean, ile miałeś w przysiadzie?
Martwy ciąg 220 kg 3 razy.
Yeah, in deadlift he had 220 kilo 3 times.
For 3?
Ooh,
so that's
a solid. That's like five. That's almost 500, right?
45 for 3.
110.
Power clean he made 110 kilo 2 times, he said.
That's my PR.
Przysiad słabo, bo miałem problem z kolanami zawsze.
A to ile to?
120 może, bardzo mało.
Oh, he said that he never
Nigdy się czułem.
Yeah, he never did squats basically because he had pretty bad knees, so he didn't do squats. He said he did like 120 kilos.
What jumping wise in terms of injuries, was knee pain the thing for you, like patella tendinopathy, or
Jakie kontuzje miałeś, jak skakałeś?
Ja już jak miałem 19 lat, to miałem kolana zniszczone, tak, że tak, miałem wszystko, nie? Bo na betonie trenowałem. To były trzy sesje dziennie na Lorimy.
Yeah, he said that when he was 19 years old, he had knees like an old man basically, because he dunked like 3 times a day on asphalt with the worst training shoes. And he told me once that before dunk sessions, he used to warm up his knees with hot water in the tap, like to like warm it up a bit to make it less.
Nie było żadnych
he had no knowledge of it.
Nie
how
było
are your
suplement?
knees now?
Yeah.
Is there hope for our knees?
Jak twoje kolana teraz niby?
Teraz miałem po operacji, jestem po operacji, nie?
A, operacja? Czego znowu?
Tej chrząstki, dziura w chrząstce była.
Yeah, he said, yeah, he had an operation now because I don't know what it's called, the layer on top of your bone.
The cartilage?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he had basically a hole in it.
I oni chcieli wstawić mi protezy, nie?
Yeah, and they wanted to have a prosthetic in there, he said, but
Ja powiedziałem, że nie.
yeah, he said no.
Dam radę to zrobić.
He said that he will fix him himself. And
Lekarze mieli, nie mieściło się w głowie, jak to może zrobić.
Yeah, and his knee is good right now. He said that even the hospital people at the hospital were like surprised of how well his knee is doing right now, because they thought he would need a prosthetic. But he said, yeah.
So the way that you perceive pain is probably a lot different than other people, and you probably have a much higher tolerance for it and recognize that the easy solution is probably not the best solution. In other words, getting surgery just because a doctor said it, you're like, I can function at a high level without this.
Rozumiesz?
No powiedz.
Że raczej masz inną percepcję bólu niż inni ludzie i że masz inną percepcję jakby kontuzji, że widzisz drogę dla siebie, jakby samo możesz to ogarnąć.
Tak, zgadza się.
Yeah, he said that, yeah, you're right.
10 lat temu miałem kręgosłup uszkodzony i 3 najlepszych lekarzy w Szczecinie, w Polsce, powiedzieli, że nie będę mógł biegać, bo mam kręgosłup uszkodzony. A później ja zacząłem biegać i skakać i wygrywać konkursy.
Ile lat?
10 lat temu.
He said 10 years ago he went to the hospital and they said that he will never dunk or run again because he had such bad pain, such a bad back, basically. His back was so bad. But he said he fixed himself with his mentality. He fixed himself, and he came back to dunking and winning dunk contests as well. After
That's
that,
awesome.
That's so crazy.
And
I was gonna say, Bartek, what are your numbers?
Yeah. My power clean is not that good. I think it's max 70 kilo. Yeah, I never trained that much power clean, but my back squat, I did. My max is 160, but I
That's
did
a deep squat or half squat.
Deep squat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's solid.
Yeah,
that's
but I
solid.
think I could do 170 because I did like 150 almost like 6 times.
Wow. Yeah, you could definitely do for 6 times for 150.
Yeah, the problem was I loaded up the bar and I loaded up 180 and I loaded up the wrong rates, and then I was like, why is this so difficult? And then I took
170. It says your estimated max is 175. If you did 150 for 6.
Yeah, I think I could do something like that. And my deadlift is also not that good. I think it's also my max is 170 or maybe 175.
It's not bad. It's not elite, but it's not bad.
It's not bad, but my squat is basically the same.
Yeah.
So it's weird.
Okay, I have a question too. How did you meet Pat Dickert?
Yeah. I met him at like a show here in Norway. Yeah, because I knew about him because he was called Luft Norge on Instagram and luft is air in Norwegian and Norge is Norway in Norwegian. I was like, what is this guy Norwegian? I was wondering.
Is he Norwegian?
No. He's from USA, but he is in Norway.
No, I didn't. I know that, but is his heritage like Norwegian, or why did he pick that? Or is he just visiting Norway often?
Yeah, I actually don't know. No, he has family in USA. I don't think he has family in Norway.
Well, why would you pick your name to be Luff?
That's so random.
Yeah,
he has to be Norwegian. He has to have either that or visited Norway many times.
Yeah, right. So that's how I knew about him, and he did the free throw line dunk, and that went viral, and I knew about him. And then out of nowhere, on a dunk show we had in the capital in Norway, I out of a sudden see him filming, and I was like, wait. After the dunk show, you're Pat Dicker, right? You're Luft Norge. And I was like, yeah. And that's how it started. He did an interview with us, and we just kept contact together. And he just invited us on like a mini dunk camp in Norway that we'll be doing soon for kids. So he works a lot, and he's very good to keep contact and keep track of things. So
I like Pat a lot. He's super bright, and he's a great guy. He honestly is a great guy. Super hard worker as well.
Super worker,
super talented.
So he collab with him in the future.
The first time I had seen you was on his Instagram, because he was like, he DM'd me and he's like, yo, you got to check these Polish guys out. He's like, they're insane. And he sends me you like punching an East Band. At the time, I was like trying to hit that. I've been trying to hit that dunk on 10 feet seriously now for about a year, like actually dedicated time to it. And because my background was mostly track and field, so I just was not very good at trick dunks. And so he just sends me a video of you punching it, like punching the soul out of it. And I was like, how tall is he? He's like, I don't know, he's like 5'10", like 175, 180. And I was like, what the hell? Who is this guy? Why haven't I ever heard of him? And then Isaiah, I think at that point you knew who he was at that point prior to that, Isaiah?
Yeah. We had a dunk session. The first time I met him was 2016.
No, not Pat. I'm talking about Bartek.
Oh yeah. At that time I knew who he was.
Okay. Are you, Bartek, are you planning on coming to dunk camp ever?
In USA?
Yeah.
That would be amazing. I mean, if I can ever, of course. I don't know. I have talked about it with some dunkers as well. With some dunkers from Poland, like they're going to the US for the dunk camp. It would be amazing. Never say never.
Yeah.
Man, if you and some of the guys from Poland were to come through and show everybody up, show the campers up, that would be sick, man. That'd be sick.
Yeah,
I've been trying to make a strong push for the European guys to get over here, because I feel like we did a podcast earlier with Mattia Mengini, the Italian jumper. He said he competed against you once in a FIBA contest. His Instagram.
It wasn't FIBA. It wasn't FIBA. It was.
It wasn't FIBA. It was just
in Poland.
Oh, okay. So he just competed in a contest with you.
And I was trying to tell him. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and he said he got mad and he left. I don't know why. He's like, I don't remember why, but I left. I was like, okay. And I want to make a strong push for the European guys to get over here, because I feel like the mindset for European guys is a lot different. I think it would be good for both groups to see, because in the US it's more, would you say niche? Not niche. I don't know how to explain it.
I think in Europe, I mean, Bartek, you can tell me if this is right or wrong, but I feel like it's taken more seriously. Like dunking is taken more seriously. Like just because I see how many dunk contests there are out there, like I see the skill level of the guys there, and it's a small country. Like Poland is very, very, very small compared to the US. And for how small you guys are, you guys have a lot of really, really good dunkers. So to me, from an outsider looking in, it seems like the dunk community is very strong there.
Yeah, the dunk community is amazing here. Very strong, man. In Poland as well, there's some lately with Leaping and Grabo becoming so big. There are so many dunkers right now. And there's so many YouTubers as well, and so many dunk contests lately is just growing, and the community is very good. Yeah,
that's what it seems like. Have you ever heard of Matthias Hove Johansson. He's a sprinter for Norway, super fast. I think he runs like a 10-1.
Yeah.
100. Do you know him?
Yeah. I don't know him personally, but I have heard about him. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it would be so cool to see a collaboration between you two, because I've known of Matthias for years, because I was really big in track and field, and then came over to dunking, and then you said you lived in Norway, and I was like, what the heck? And I was like, and then I know a lot of cross country skiers because they're obviously in Norway, that's huge. And then Sondre Gutmerson, the guy, he just jumped 6 meters in pole vault. Do you know who I'm talking about? I think he's from Norway too, right? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I haven't heard about him, but the name sounds Norwegian. Yeah.
He let me see. Yeah, Norwegian record holder. He just won NCAAs in pole vault. We had him on a podcast like a year or two ago. Yeah, he jumped 6 meters.
Oh, damn! I haven't heard about him. How?
Yeah,
that's good. Yeah, even my dad said that's a good score.
Yeah, he's really, really good. He just jumped it, I think, this weekend. So, but yeah, this is I don't know if this will focus. Is that focusing, Isaiah?
Yeah.
But that's Sondre. So him and his brother, they move around a lot because it's so cold, obviously, in Norway. So the training is difficult. But I think like Matthias and Sondre live in different parts of Norway. Are you guys on the northern side or like
We're basically in the middle.
Okay, so you're probably between them. Because I think Sondre is on the southern part, and I think Matthias lives north, right?
But I study in Oslo, so basically I live in the middle, but I study in down area by Oslo.
Okay, that's where I think Sondre. I don't know for sure. Don't quote me on that. It's just funny how I just keep my life just keeps gravitating towards Norway, and Pat is now in Norway too. So I'm like, what the heck?
Right. I mean, man, Norway is amazing, man. The nature here is crazy.
It seems like it. Okay, so I have another question. How has training changed from Mariusz when you were, I don't know, 1992 to 2006, your training, compared to now in 2023, what you do, Bartek? And Mariusz, did you guide his lifting in the weight room or sprinting or plyos at all?
Jak się zmieniło trenowanie z twojego na teraz?
Dobra, powiedz przede wszystkim, że ja jestem trenerem personalnym, mam papiery i byłem uczony takich bzdur, że teraz jak ja bym trenował, to ludziom bym robił krzywdę i kalekił.
Yeah, he's saying that it's completely different. And back in his time, he said he got a degree actually for like a personal trainer. But if he would teach the things he learned back then, he said everyone would look at him like an idiot or something, because it's completely different now, he says. Back then, they didn't know anything, at least in Poland.
Kiedyś było tak, że ktoś przychodził z taką postawą, do przodu, i mu się dawało wyciskanie na sztangę, nie? Jeszcze gorzej było.
Yeah, he said once he experienced like in a school, I guess, someone came with crazy shoulders, like
he was like bent over, like
bent over, and said they learned that they should do like bench press to fix it. Yeah,
that'll make it worse.
Yeah, I mean,
to jest niewyobrażalne. Ja sobie nie mogę tego wyobrazić. To jest nie mieści się w głowie. Jaka jest różnica?
Yeah, he's saying that he can't even imagine how big different it is from back then to now.
Did most of your training, Bartek, come from your own like research, or did your dad guide you through lifting and stuff like that?
I mean, my dad helped for sure. He helped a lot because he actually one time he was doing bodybuilding as well. Actually, so yeah, it got pretty big after a while, and he got into lifting weights, of course, and the techniques and everything. So I learned a lot from him. And lately, me and my brother actually have a personal trainer from Poland. Like, he's one of the best trainers in Poland. Mikołaj. No husband. Not husband, but husband is great as well, man. Husband is probably one of the best as well. But another one, Mikołaj Steinchuk, he is crazy good, and the training plans I got from him are out of this world. Like, if you would compare the training plans I get from him now and my dad's training, it's two different worlds.
Ale ja mam tyle lat i mam tak zakodowane systemy treningowe, że ja w ogóle nie rozumiem, co wy robicie. Nie potrafię tego w ogóle powtórzyć. Nie mam tego. To jest trudne dla mnie.
Yeah, he's saying that his knowledge and his basic history with training when he was young, he literally doesn't understand what we are doing right now when we're training. He
Nie
doesn't.
potrafię tego
Yeah,
powtórzyć.
he said that he probably couldn't even do it because it is so different.
What type of stuff does he have you doing like right now? Like your personal trainer?
So yeah, I had the jumpers knee for a pretty long time, so I'm just now like coming back to dunking. I had it for a couple months, but like crazy high death jumps. And something I saw on your guys' Instagram as well, like when you train to like take force, where you like drop into a position.
Oh,
Drop,
yeah.
Yeah, with weights, drop into position.
Like
Yeah.
fast
And,
eccentrics on the down phase.
Yeah.
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 What is his name on Instagram?
M Stanchako, I think.
You're gonna have to spell that one.
MS. I think I can maybe send it to you real quick.
No.
Yeah, I'm very curious.
Would you be able to send it in the chat on the Zoom?
Oh yeah. I think I can actually just screenshot his Insta and you guys can. Yeah, he's crazy good, man.
MS, I found it, Isaiah.
Oh, you
Oh,
did?
he's a doctor. Neuroscience hothead. He's an MD, Isaiah.
Oh, sick.
I swear I just saw someone else post it. Maybe it was you I was looking at. So Isaiah, it's MSTAN
Yeah, okay. If you can.
CZAKO.
Wait, spell that again.
MSTAN.
TAN.
Yep. CZAKO.
CZ. Oh, I see him.
Yeah, he's crazy good, man. He's like, he has so much knowledge. I mean, some of the stuff he sends me, I can't even understand myself.
Here, I'll share the screen for if anybody
He helped me a
wants
lot
to.
with my jumper's knee. A lot, yeah.
It's all in is this in Polish?
Polish, yeah.
Yeah, I'm unsure. I think some of it might be in English.
Tak, on ma studia
Like some plyos, some upper body plyos.
Does he dunk?
I mean, he's very interesting in dunks, and he has tried to dunk himself.
Look at his video, John.
I have some video.
Is that Frank Yang?
Yeah, I think he tries to dunk a bit, but he's not.
Oh yeah,
taking...
he's smart. Yeah, he knows everything he's saying right there is speaking my language.
Yeah, man, he's smart, man.
Scroll down, Isaiah. Let me see.
Depth jumps are hurdle hop, accentuated.
So he has a
eccentric
lot
jump.
of volume. That's a crazy amount of. Is that him training right there?
I mean, it could be a list of exercises.
What does he do? What sport does he do?
No, he's studying right now.
Did he do any sports? Did he ever do any sports?
He trained the vertical jump, I think. I don't think he ever like trained any sports himself. I think he only like tried to dunk sometimes himself and trained vertical jumping as well.
But he seems super smart. Okay, so he probably, based on that, Isaiah, he's probably doing some. Are you doing sprints, ollies, squats? You know, RDLs, calf raises, plyos.
We haven't worked together for that long, but yeah, some of what you mentioned, yeah.
That's exciting.
Because I thought my knowledge was big. I thought I knew a lot about vertical jumping, but man, when I heard him and the stuff he sent me, he has so much knowledge, man.
So I have a
competition.
Yeah,
I have a question, Bartek, because you're unique in that you jump off both 1 foot and 2 foot.
Mm-hmm.
First question, which one do you jump higher on, and which do you find that different like trainings or exercises like affect one or the other better?
Tak, jest różnica. Jeżeli więcej ciężarów robisz, to gorzej skaczesz z jednej, nie?
Nie wiem. To znaczy się...
No mów.
Yeah, I think right now, I'm actually jumping higher of one foot, and that's my preferred one. Well,
Gotcha.
it's like 1 foot is the preferred one, and 2 feet is like I jump a bit as well. But what works for me, I'm very quad dominant, and squats helped me so much. It's crazy, both from 2 and 1 foot,
Yeah.
both. That's like the exercise that helps me the most, and basically the most exercises that train quadriceps muscle.
And do you do plyometrics at all? And do you find that they help either one?
Yeah, like plyometrics and sprinting helps more for my 1 foot. Like strength is very nice for 2 feet, and I see that strength help a lot for 2 feet. But 1 feet is more about like being fast and explosive.
Yeah.
2 feet is more about strength, I feel like, for myself, and 1 feet is more about being explosive.
Bartek, what's your best 1 foot dunks? 360 East Bay, or it's like a 180 East Bay, right? You do it from the baseline.
I did it like 2 weeks ago. Yeah, but my best dunk ever that I hit, I think I dunked over a car once in a dunk contest from 1 foot. Yeah, but
the length of a car?
No
one's ever done that. No one's ever.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
That'd be a viral video right there.
Yeah, I think the best one would be over 4-person East Bay, over 4.
Did you do it out of a hand, or how did you do it?
Yeah, over from a hand. Yeah.
Were they 4 people standing or bent over?
No, bent over, like G2P. I will try over 6 because G2P was a big inspiration from me. So I can
tell watching your dunks.
Yeah.
Bartek, do you do the running arm action when you do East Bays? Like this arm comes forward and then.
Yeah, bro. I have thought about it a lot, man.
Me too.
It helps this motion, right? Because when I jump from my left foot, imagine I have this motion, and then the ball is right here. I can just
and then your right hand's back behind you, and then you push it. This is for me, and the viewers will love this because they've been rooting for me to hit an East Bay for now a century. Left hand's here. Do you find that the side to side, is it more side to side to you, or is it more like straight up and down, or like front and back with your arms?
It's kind of hard to say. Sometimes I use both actually, because I run like this and jump like this when I want to jump forward over something. When I want to jump forward, and when I want to jump high, I often use this from 1 foot.
So you go double arm. You'll actually use double arm for
sometimes.
East Bay, an East Bay?
For windmills basically, and some other dunks. East Bay I often do from dribble as well. But
this is how I do it. What do you see here, Bartek? I need you to correct my technique.
I mean, I see that your arm swing could be a bit better, yeah.
That's not natural for me. My natural arm swing is, Isaiah, do you want to pull up the one-hander, the God tier one-hander?
Where is it?
It's down, slower. Back, right
to
the left. Yeah, that one. That's easily. So this was like after heavy volume. I could barely dunk. And then
so here you both use both hands.
Yeah, so that I can get way more lift, but for East Bays I can't. I just can't. I don't get the same lift for East Bays.
It works for East Bays, at least for me as well, because you already have your hand there as well, up there. So it works for me as well. But often I do like this because it's just easier to jump forward and I jump over people. And then you already like kick up your right foot, have your hands like this, and you can just take the ball with the legs.
The other issue I run into is I don't get my knee very high because my mobility is really bad. I'm very inflexible, incredibly inflexible. So that makes it a lot harder. And I feel like when I go like this, it's like I feel like I'm falling backwards. I feel like I'm literally going to fall backwards when I do it. Which I don't like. So that, and I have figured out that cuffs are like add a lot of dunks to my 1 foot. I just learned how to cuff windmill basically, and I haven't hit it, but I'll probably hit it next week. I was jumping like trash and I'm under really high volume right now, but I feel like it's going to take a week before I'll be able to cuff windmill. And then I feel like slingshot isn't far behind. And so I'm wondering now too, like, if, do you feel like with a cuff that it unlocks a lot of 1 foot dunks for you, that it kind of opens a lot of options?
Absolutely, man. Like
That's
today,
that's
I had a dunk session today, and I learned a lot of cuff dunks as well. Because lately, I've noticed that dunks with where you hold the ball in your hand, or dribble or cuffing are much more secure than like throwing the ball. So it's nice to have some dunks like that. And also, when you cuff the ball, if you have cuff it good enough, you can get the full
double
arm
arm
swing.
Yep.
Yeah, full.
So
double arm
that's what I'm learning how to do. Like if you looked
Yeah.
at in the summer, I couldn't even do a one-hander with a cuff because I ran too slow. I couldn't hold on to the ball. And now I'm starting to get speed with it and be able to cuff it.
Yeah.
So it's like every session, my vertical has gone up on a cuff. Like the first day I couldn't cuff windmill on 9. And now I almost cuff windmill on 10 a week later. So it's like, I'm just, I've skyrocketed my progress on it. And you can ask Isaiah. You saw me miss cuff windmills on 9-2 last week. And then this week I almost made, I back
we'll go on FaceTime and he just have a cuff and he's just like, just practicing over and over again.
Yeah.
I'm getting good. I'm getting better. And then my other question is, do you find that a FIBA ball makes that much of a difference when you're doing those cuff dunks off 1 versus a regular Wilson like Evo?
Yeah, it helps with a FIBA ball. It's a 6, right? So it's a bit smaller, and the FIBA balls have also like I don't know what to call, like
the grooves.
They have the grooves in them, right? And it helps a little bit. So yeah, it's much easier.
So if I use a FIBA ball, you think I can cuff East
Bay? Yeah.
No, I would definitely.
East Bay, I mean, maybe
cuff East Bay with a FIBA ball.
Yeah. I mean,
John, I would definitely get a FIBA ball.
That's so cheating. I feel like it's cheating for me though. Like we don't. I mean, I'm not. I guess if I'm gonna do FIBA contests, but
yeah,
exactly. You have to learn, man.
I don't see it as cheating. Like in my opinion, they don't add. They actually feel weirder for me to dunk with because I'm so used to like the regular ones. So the FIBA balls, like, like I don't know, like throwing lobs and like doing East Bays and stuff.
I feel like
feels
lobs
so
would
weird.
I feel like lobs would be harder because it's
lobs would be harder. Yeah, but
it has the same weight or no?
Yeah, it has the same.
But it's smaller is the only difference.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I'd have to like try to use it. I used to have one and then I moved and I don't have it anymore. So I'd have to buy a FIBA ball. But I bought a new basketball, but it's really slick. So it's really nice for lobs. Like for lobs, I like to feel like a regular basketball, really like smooth and stuff because like have you ever held the new NBA balls, like the new Wilsons? Have you ever held them, Bartek?
Yeah.
So you know how they're really smooth? They're like super smooth, like the ball spins. They're almost impossible to cuff.
I know. And my dad had one.
They slip out of your hand. Isaiah,
I do not understand how they play with those, especially when you see NBA players like palming it super easy. And then I grabbed one in real life and I was like, "What is this?"
Yeah, I know.
I feel like it has oil on it or something. Like it's crazy.
My dad got one for his birthday. For like his 40th birthday, and we thought it was fake. We're like, no way they play with this because it
feels like plastic.
Yeah, it was crazy. Because I got the piece of that. Yeah, no.
I think the reason why, like, when they dribble, if you notice how much the ball spins in their hand and stuff like that, I think that's why. Like, if you've compared that to the new Evos, the Wilson Evos, not the Evolution, but the Evo, the bright orange one, and or even a FIBA ball, and you feel the grip between those two. It's harder for me to dribble with an Evo, but it's easier for me to dunk and practice cuffs and stuff with the Evo. But then to play, to dribble, to handle the ball, to do the Allen Iverson cross, the ball spins in your hand for forever. You know what I mean? It's like, they're carrying the ball. And I think people don't realize that their basketballs are so slick. You know what I mean? They almost feel like a cheap outdoor rubber, like, you know, the outdoor balls that are almost rocks that rock hard. That's how it felt. That's how the NBA ball felt. I was like, what is this?
Yeah, I know. The same with us. We never used it. Literally never used it because it was so bad.
It sits on does it sit on like a trophy case signed by just kidding.
No. It's I think it's out at our gym, but I don't think we never use it basically. Yeah, it's just laying somewhere.
It's just like in a corner.
Yeah. But you know, I had one I used to train my cuff grip actually because we have like a weighted ball. It's basically a normal basketball, but it's much like weights much more. And I used to grip it with my cuff and just do stuff against the wall with like cuff just to get my cuff grip better, and that helps a lot.
I've been trying. So I had tried cuffing for multiple years. I had tried to cuff, and I was terrible at it. I could not figure it out. And I went to dunk camp where Isaiah hurt his IT band, and I was talking to Dallin Finley, DJ Finley. I'm sure you guys have seen him dunk because he's a 1-footer, super powerful, does a ton of cuff dunks. And I was like, Dallin, how do you learn how to cuff? Like, I just can't do it. It just falls out of my hand. He's like, squeeze harder. And I'm like, Dallin, I'm squeezing as hard as I possibly can. Like, what are you talking about? Squeeze harder. He's like, squeeze the ball as hard as you possibly can. And when I realized that, I was like, oh, this is not just like casually, like you casually kind of can do this. Like, he's squeezing as tight as he possibly can against his forearm. And so as an exercise physiologist, a sports scientist, I was like, oh, this is a power exercise. This is not endurance. Because if you talk to Isaiah or CJ or some of these other guys I'm good friends with, they're like, oh, I just cuff a ball around the house and it got easier. Or, you know, I just do this all day and I would just do that 1,000 reps of it. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense, because at the velocity I'm moving, there's a threshold I have to cuff the ball with force wise, where if I don't have that threshold force, that minimum force, it's going to fall out of my hand. So I started treating it like a power exercise, like I would a clean or and my hand would get so sore from doing it the way that they said, because I guess I'm just a bitch and I couldn't do it. So I would have to like literally do it on the minute, every minute on the minute, like an EMOM. Have you ever done EMOMs before, Bartek? Do you know what that is?
No,
So it's like you basically have like a 60-second time slot, and you have to do a number of reps within 60 seconds. And whatever you complete that in those, let's say it's 2 reps, you have the remainder of the rest of the minute to rest. So I would do it like that, and I would do it every other day, but I would go max intensity, like as fast as I possibly could, running action, cuff, windmill. And then that within a week, I had adapted to it, and I was able to cuff. So I've been doing that, and that's made a huge difference. So I've tried that, and that's really been helping a lot. It's a mindset. It's like he said, it's like your dad said.
Yo, I want to try cuffs now. When I'm doing it, I'm not cuffing as hard as I can. I just realized
I am literally squeezing it like it is a power club.
Yeah, bro, me too. I'm squeezing so hard because, man, I literally get my full arm swing. I do the full arm swing when I'm cuffing it.
Yep. I bring it all the way back and come up like that.
Yeah, all the way back and all the way up to get the full like potential, basically.
And I think that's the difference is like, you know, it's similar to if I said, hey, Bartek, go jump 100 times at half your effort versus max effort jumping is going to be like the best way to adapt to it. And I think people treat cuffing like it's a sub-maximal thing, and it shouldn't be. If you want to get a full arm swing, at least it's not.
Yeah.
So
that makes so much sense, because I suck at cuffs. Like I get nowhere near the height that I need. Like if I were to go do a cuff windmill, I would be like this much lower than off a lob. Yeah.
It's
terrible.
I literally could maybe cuff it for 4 seconds max before I would actually like fatigue. Because I get like that's how hard I'm cuffing it.
I'm gonna mess around with that. I'm gonna mess around with that.
Well, that's all the questions I had. I guess if you guys have questions for Isaiah or anything like that, you guys are welcome to ask. Or Isaiah, if you have questions for Bartek.
I think I asked all my questions, man. I said everything that was on my brain.
Bartek,
I mean, man,
and Mario, do you have any questions for Isaiah?
It's hard to have questions for you guys because I literally know everything, bro. I know all of your dunks. I have seen for years, man. I feel like I have known you guys for years.
That's awesome.
That's so
that means
cool.
a lot. That means a lot, man. That's awesome.
Does your dad have anything he's wondering about it?
Tak, ja mam pytanie do Isaiah. Jak bardziej on chce z głowy osiągać sukces, czy on chce czuć? Rozumiesz?
Czy dla siebie to chce, czy
tak,
chce...
Czy robi to, bo chce czuć te uczucie, czy robi to, bo chce wymyślać sobie, żeby być dobrym?
Czy dla siebie jakby, tak?
Jak chodzi o uczucie, nie? Ciężko mi to wytłumaczyć.
Czekaj, czy robi wsady, bo chce być sławny i to uczucie?
Nie, to coś osiągnąć.
Kurde, nie wiem.
Okej, to ty zadaj pytanie, ja pomyślę.
Nie, ja nie mam pytania.
Nie masz pytania?
Man, my dad, he wanted to ask a hard question.
Okay.
Even
dlaczego on skacze? Dlaczego chce to osiągnąć?
Yeah, he asking you guys, why do you dunk, basically?
Why
What
do
do you
we
want to
dunk?
achieve with it?
Oh. Isaiah, what?
The
Isaiah, you go
why?
first with
Like,
that.
why do I dunk?
Yes.
Why? Actually, talk to Sean.
Po co?
Yeah.
Uh,
So
why?
my reasons for dunking they've changed over the years. When I first started, well, I started with basketball, and I had this thing where like I'm super competitive. Like I always wanted to be like better than my friends, and after that, I want to be better than other people. And I had a dream of being the best basketball player in the world. Then I found out about the world of dunking, and I loved it. Like it felt awesome to dunk. Like it was like the greatest feeling ever, and I got obsessed with it. And Jordan Kilgannon, he told me, and this was when I was 16. I was like just doing one hand dunks, and he told me, he's like, "Hey man, like if you work hard at this, like you could be way better than me one day." And I just took that and I ran with it. Like I was like, that's all the fuel that I needed. So I made it my goal to be the best in the world at dunking. So that's what was like fueling me. Like that was my why. Like I just wanted to be the best. After that, after I got to a certain level, I guess I realized how empty it is to like this sounds super conceited, but how empty it is to be the best in the world.
Yeah.
Because it yeah, it just felt, I don't know, it felt weird. Like it was like I there was a lot of ego involved in it. And then that's when I kind of just started like enjoying it for what it is. Like I love dunking and constantly trying to be better than myself. Like instead of being a competition with other people, it turned into a competition against me. Like I'm trying to be the best version of myself. And then most recently, because this is my job, like I just had a daughter. So now it's like not only am I doing it to better myself, like this is what I do to provide for my family as well. So yeah, that's always like in the back of my mind. But yeah, so kind of a long answer for the question.
Okay, I have one question more. This is maybe will be difficult question for you. Why you are so good?
I think so. Two parts. One of them, which I feel like it plays a big role, but not the biggest role, is I like genetically I'm built for dunking. Like I have long arms, like good height for dunking. But a million people have the same proportions. A million people have better proportions than me. But that set my potential, right? Like I have the potential for it, but the second part of it is I was obsessed with it. Like
you said that. I love this.
Yeah, like I was obsessed with it and I just never stopped. And it's never even been an option for me to stop. Like I've met people where they'll start training, but they'll like skip a day here or there. Like they'll be like, oh, like I'd rather like go out this day, or like they won't show up to the gym, or maybe they have to go to work. Like they have work and like they'll use that as an excuse for why they're not better. Like I was going to school full time. I had jobs that I had to work. There was some manual labor jobs that I had, and like, but I just love dunking and I love training. Like it was never an option to not show up to the gym, and it's still that way for me now. Like I don't remember the last time where I just skipped a training day. Like
It's
like
not a skip. Yeah. Usually it turns into a dumbbell workout, but he always does it.
yeah. Like it's like I always at least like show up. That's why I always tell people, just show up. Like that's all you have to do. And then I just didn't stop. When I got hurt, I didn't stop. That's another thing that stops people is they'll get an injury and then you just never hear from them again, or like they'll get demotivated. Like for me, it's like, oh, injury, that's an opportunity to learn about my body. That's me doing something I wasn't supposed to. I'm gonna fix that and not make that mistake again. And that's allowed me like to get better and better and better. Just because I learned so much about my body. But like the basic answer, I was obsession, and I'm still obsessed.
You love it.
Basically it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think what's fun.
I love it with a passion.
It's fun for me
Yes.
to think about that answer for you, Isaiah, because like as your coach, I've never really asked, why are you the best? I've never thought, oh, why is Isaiah the best? I don't like view it from that lens. I view it from the lens of how can you be better? I always view it of what can we do better? What can we make better? How can we get quicker adaptation? How can we recover quicker? How can we make sure these injuries don't happen again? And it's a constant puzzle. And the things I don't have to worry about with you that I think make you better than the other 99.999% of athletes is you're smart. So I don't have to ever worry about you understanding what I'm programming and questioning me on why I'm programming it in a way that's going to be negative. It's never going to be, hey, I want to know this because I think you're wrong. Maybe you think I'm wrong, maybe you don't. It's always, I want to know this so that I can learn and get better. Or I want to know this so that we can make sure that this is like optimized and dialed in. 2, I don't have to worry about you flaking. I think so many athletes flake. They don't, like you said, you always show up. Your consistency is the number one thing. I don't ever worry about that with myself because it's a lifestyle. I think that is another part of it, is it's a lifestyle. People view dunking as something they just want to do one time. They don't understand that if you want to jump 50.5 inches, or if you want to be the best in anything in the world, I don't care what it is, you could be the best cook. You have to be, it's a lifestyle, and yeah, you have to be obsessed with it and you have to love it. And I think that is the second thing that separates you. And I think the third is your ability to move. You move really well. You have great joint mobility, and that allows you to deep squat. That allows you to get in catch positions for cleans and snatch, and allows you to get into perfect takeoff position for 1 and 2 foot if you need to. And I think that those 3 things, allow you to be the perfect mold, because some people might have the motivation or the obsession with it, but they move like shit, like I do. So I can't train optimally. And I feel like for you, it's like you have the clay and you're able to maximize that clay, because I don't have to worry about whether you can deep squat perfectly, because I know you can deep squat perfectly. So I can max out your deep squat without worrying about injury, because your mechanics are perfect. And your mechanics for power clean are perfect, and your mechanics for deadlift are perfect. So injury is not a concern until you're deadlifting 500 plus pounds or 230 kilos. Then it's like, oh, now I got to worry about how I program this. But until that point, I don't have anything to worry about. And then if you do get hurt, you still train. And most people don't train when they get hurt. They do just rehab.
The discipline when
Yes.
when you're being hurt. Like I have a friend. He's one of my best friends. Name's Austin. I'm gonna throw him under the bus. I'm sorry, Austin, for throwing you under the bus. But he had a little bit of knee pain, and he had a dunk session on Saturday. So two days ago, he had a dunk session. Today, he was like, dude, I want to go dunk. Like, can I come over to your house and get a dunk session? And I was like, Austin, be smart. Like, be smart. Like, do you truly feel like you can do it? He's like, yeah, like I know I can do it, blah, blah. I go to the dunk session with him, like 3rd or 4th jump, knee freaking blows up. It's a ton of pain. It's like you didn't have the discipline. And that's one thing with me is I know if it's a bad idea to go dunk. Because I think like long term, like I'm thinking, okay, this session, is it gonna be better for me or is it gonna be worse for me? Am I gonna end up being hurt or not? And it's like, how many of those smart decisions can you make? And that's what's gonna make you have a long career. The other, who I think is the best dunker on the planet, Kilgannon. The one thing that has separated him from everybody else is he does not get hurt, and when he does, he has the discipline to take care of it and keep dunking. Like same with other dunkers that have had long careers and were at the top, they just didn't get hurt. Guy Dupuis, same thing, he didn't have any major injuries or anything like that. So that's a huge part of it. It's just
I think
discipline.
that's the number one thing that kicks the best out. They get hurt and they don't know how to get back. And I feel like that's where training is. I always say training has 2 major, you're trying to do 2 major things. You're trying to stay healthy and you're trying to improve your performance. And if you're not doing either one of those things, you're probably not training correctly, or your training is pointless. So if it's not making you better and it's not keeping you healthy, then why are you doing it?
Yeah.
Mm.
And that's
Yeah,
always been the
basically
guide.
that's why I got my jumper's knee, which I had to deal with for a couple of months, not that long ago, because I had a great year. Every dunk contest I went in Poland, I won. Basically, I had a great year, and I was like, damn, it's going very well. I'm training a lot. I can do more. I can train more. I can be better. And it was
Yeah.
just too much, man. I couldn't stop, and I just overtrained myself.
It's
Basically, too
funny.
much.
It's funny you say that. Yesterday, I was doing a podcast with Jay Clark the jumper.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was for 5-star, like the thing that's the double
Oh,
East Bay
okay,
thing.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we were talking, and almost every injury I've had, it's at the tail end of me feeling like I'm superhuman. Like I'm always
Yeah.
like going off, going crazy, killing it, and then boom, gets hurt. I don't listen to my body, and something will happen.
Yeah,
So
right.
because it's hard, like when you're like you just experienced it, you were winning everything. You were probably feeling superhuman. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I felt superhuman, man. I felt like I was a machine, man.
Yeah.
I could just train more, and then
It's like the Terminator of dunking.
yeah. Literally, man.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. Well, this
But
was,
even
I
then-
guess, this might be a
even-
good. Well, go ahead. What were you gonna say, Bartek?
Yeah, even then, when I had my jumper's knee, I didn't jump, obviously, but I showed up to the gym with my weighted ball and just did dunks towards the wall without jumping, every single dunk, and just dunks I wanted to make, and that helped me a lot. Now that I'm not able to dunk, I did lose my technique.
Yeah,
like
I like
something good came out of it.
Yeah, absolutely, and the knowledge I got of it as well. Now I can help anyone who's dealing with knee pain.
That's pretty much how it started with me. I partially ruptured my patella, so I have been there. And that was in 2017 or 18, right before I started coaching Isaiah. And that's how we kind of figured out how to rehab him back.
That's actually crazy, John, because if you think about it, if you hadn't tore it, you probably wouldn't have been able to help me. So
yeah,
it's true.
Yeah.
Thank God that I ruptured my patella.
Yeah, man. I had the same thought when I was at my first FIBA contest in Prague. I was like, said to my dad, like, imagine if you didn't like pick up the basketball that one time and went dunking in Norway. We wouldn't be here.
Yeah,
it's crazy, man, how it all starts.
It is. Well, I feel like this is a good spot for us to cut the podcast here. I feel like we've gained a lot of information from you guys, a lot of knowledge from you guys, and honestly, it was a ton of fun. I really enjoyed talking with both you guys, Mariusz, if I said it correctly, and Bartek. Thank you guys for coming on. We really appreciate it. As always, guys, make sure you comment, like, subscribe, and then also make sure that you follow Bartek. How do you spell your handle for the listeners?
My name?
Is it Bart Dunker, your Instagram? This one.
Bartek. Yeah. Bartek Dunker. Yeah.
Bartek Dunker. So make sure you guys follow him as well. And as always, guys, we will catch you on the next episode. See you guys. And then let me pause this.